Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to our Wednesday afternoon call. And today is February 12th. Just like it's been said, this year is going fast. And actually, the older you get, it seems like they go by faster anyway. But everybody is starting to notice this. And I imagine it's because we have a lot going on for us all here at Triple R 247. We have a lot going. We've done a lot, we're doing a lot, and there's a lot in the future. So, in order not to get, you know, confused with everything that's going, we have these Wednesday afternoons for any of the new people, especially if you have questions, to come on in here live and let us answer your questions. I've also got the questionnaire on our notices before we get here. I put it out like on yesterday, Tuesday, then I put it out on Wednesday morning. You can always use the link there to put your questions in so we can at least have some time to prepare for them if we need to. So, as we have been doing since January, beginning of January, we've been going over things from the beginning. And we're going to continue doing that. And today we have our special guest, Debbie Seese, that is going to be telling us more about what we call session two. So take it away, Debbie.
Thank you. Well, hi, everybody, and glad to be with you this afternoon. I was asked to show you session two, and this is something that I am learning as well. So I'm hoping that I'm covering everything I'm supposed to be covering. When I looked at it, there's just a lot of information in session two. So I kind of went about it by doing an outline that hopefully will be helpful to at least get us started. And the nice thing about the way Rory has the trainings all organized now is that's exactly it. They're organized. And when I first started, and honestly, up until about a couple of years ago, it was like, for me, it was hunting and pecking to find information. And he has now uh, put everything in a logical manner and is still working on it. And so it's a lot easier to find. So I'm going to share my screen if that's okay and share with you what I have today. Oh, where am I at here? Okay. Everybody see that okay?
Yeah,
Oh,
that's great. Thank you.
all right, good. Okay. Um, After session one, that kind of is the introduction to a lot of just the basics here with Triple R. So with session two, we start with our new students by sending them the PBS session two email. And that can be found here in the flow. And this is where all of our emails are. So you would want to go to the flow. And I've got these links in my outline here so that you can follow. And this kind of helped me to kind of be logical in the order that we go. So after you send that to them, they go there, they follow the link that's in session two email. And one of the first things Rory has us doing is watching the video, which is 55 minutes long. It In the video, he goes over everything that is printed out in the session two training under the video. So that's quite helpful because then our students can go back, we can go back and double check things maybe that we're a little fuzzy on, or making sure that we're doing things in the right order. So I just kind of want to go through what he talks about in session two video. Um, he talks about the PBS course structure and the circular motion of our team building that we do with the shopping mall premise and the marketing house premise, two things that are very important. And as we teach our students how to do their modifying and how to go about running their business, I know for me, those two concepts keep coming back to me because it's something I can relate to and then follow through as I go ahead and create my own website. He talks about the five legs of marketing. The SEO and content marketing, link posting, which is what is advertised, and a lot of our leads have come through because they saw link posting. Social media marketing, email marketing, and then the SMS text marketing. And then he went on to talk about multiple streams of income through our anchor offers, our 5 legs of marketing, our kiosk offers, our creative content that we put into our pages, getting and allowing Google AdSense to run on our sites, and then the system that he and Tanya have structured in becoming instructors and above, where we pay it forward, where we build our teams. Then he introduces our anchors and talks first about Velavita and setting them up, trying to get them to buy one of the packages or become a customer if they're not quite financially ready yet. And that's the way our teams really begin to build. Our PBS Vortex is next, and he talks about how we can maximize earnings through the circular process that is there, connecting internal links and then our external links going to our anchors. Team building through community income sharing. He talks about brain food education, which is a really great thing and still being developed. So that's a really neat thing. Our kiosk offers, which continue to grow, and then other special product offerings and the tier commission program. SHG, which is just a site, as you all know, that is just hundreds and hundreds of offerings within that one site. And then he gives the corporate presentation video. Paid marketing, which is the really getting into session 3 with the V marketing. And he just kind of introduces that idea without going real far into it. The third method of creating income is your personal efforts that you put into building your pages through the 5 legs of marketing, how much time you put into it, how quickly you learn, that kind of thing. And as Rory always says, do what Rory does, you get what Rory gets. And that includes the time that you put into it. V marketing, which is building and leveraging teams through our different areas, our different anchors, and then leadership development, monthly income streams and team building. And then we can not only just cover our monthly costs, but we can begin to make a true income. And then that's kind of the end of that video and the end of that page. And I will actually show you, this is where it is. It's rr247.com/session-2. And the video there, and then all that's following here, he goes over in the video. So it's for auditory learners. It's a great thing to listen to the video and then follow along as he talks about it. He literally reads through all of this, and then he adds little extra comments along the way. There is the SHG company presentation, and then going on down to method 1, method 2, and then the different structures. Clear to the end, okay? And he talks about how we can make money. All right. Then after that, when we hit the bottom of that page, it directs you back to the master here, rr247.com master/master. And this right here, Secrets Explained, is what we just went through. After that particular link, then he goes into more specific training, which again, excuse me, is video by video, teaches and trains how to construct your website, how to construct a page, how to do your backups, the categories that you need, and the different pages within each category, how to do a category page. It's all right here. The 2 posts that we do that we all have on our pages or on our sites. And then getting down, there's Ageless Beauty, which is one that we're still all working on. And then let's see, this is the one I believe where when we get down, yes, when we get down in here, these are some of the trainings that he is still working on. And he actually mentioned this last night. It's a work in progress, and all of these are placeholders for trainings that he is going to do, that he is working on one by one. Okay. And then the other place that we can also go beyond that, I got to get a drink of water here, is triple r247.com/triple R. And this just keeps on going with more in steps to construct and attain your PBS pages being finished. This actually goes into Google AdSense. And I hope that that pretty much covers everything in session 2. It's a lot of information and a lot to absorb, but he has them in a logical, organized manner now, and it's much easier to follow. So I, for one, appreciate that. Okay, Tom?
Excellent. Wow. A 3 hour course, you did it in 12 minutes or so.
It took me a
Great
lot
job.
longer to go through it.
Wow. Yeah. That's what you would call a snippet.
Yes.
And there's really session two is the biggest part of the first two sessions. You have session one, which, gets the people into Velavita. Then when you start session two, so you're devoting a 3 hour to session one. They look at their hour and 10 minute video, then they look at the Velavita 50-minute video, and or 55, and then they know all about Velavita. The object here, especially again for rehashing and for the new people, is this is a step-by-step system. And like Debbie just showed, all those videos are being updated. So he's constantly working on it. But you get into session one, and hopefully, if they've read Rory's book, Marketing is Freedom, which is always mandatory before you get into session one. Then they get a good background. Remember, that's our guide. And then um, they would know why they need to get into Velavita. Now, in session two, people say in session one, perhaps they don't have the money to get into Velavita. Yeah. You probably heard that quite a bit, but
Mhm.
then we have them to be able to get into the affiliate. Well, session two now is designed to open up their eyes and mind and, thinking a little more clearly and understanding why they need to invest in themselves and their business and starting with Velavita, right? And then we ease them over for another 3 hours or so after we've showed them how to modify their biohacking page in session one so they can understand how to replace links. Okay, now they're getting the mechanics done in session one. Session two now is broadening their horizon, and session two now will show them, and for us especially, the instructors, on setting them up with PBS Vortex. That's a big part of session two because then they get set up and they get their 5 links. So when you tell them they're modifying their pages and we have so many pages to do, right? That the easiest way to tell them their homework starts off with modifying biohacking. On the bottom of the biohacking page, it references a couple other pages inside their system. So I say, all right, when you finally finish with that, now click on the next one. I forget what the name is of it. And it goes to the next one. And it has 2 names, but And then I said, stop modifying that. So now they're modifying those two things, right? And then we get into the session two with the five links again. And you say, okay, after you've done Velavita and you've done all the links that are connecting to it, now go to these five links and start working on that. And if they start saying, well, I mean, am I going to have to pay more? Again, if they're saying that, they're not understanding the concept of takes money to make money, but you show them that what you just showed us, Debbie, going down, you went by the description of how much it costs for each item, and it ends up being like a maximum of $250 somewhere it showed there. So you tell them, yeah, you may be investing to begin with, but this is the maximum. And then underneath that diagram, he shows what they can make, more and more by bringing people in and doing the job, right? So session two is really super important to understand. And for us, there's an into dash session two also that guides us. That is something that you really want to prepare yourself with. Okay. Now, he's changing up the triple R also. So I haven't had a chance to look at it. Has anybody else here had a chance to look at that triple R? Because evidently there's been, I mean, he's changed that whole thing there, which we have to go over it. So again, if anybody here hasn't gone over triple R 247 /RRR, you want to do that again because there's been a lot of major changes in it. But then after the session two, you have the basically session three, and that's to, help get them going into V marketing, basically. So if you look at it on a circular scale, you have session one, which is like one third, okay, of the steps. Session two is almost like two thirds, which brings up the whole, circle. And then the session three is basically moving forward because by then they should know how to modify their pages. They know how the thing is, the people have to understand what they're talking about before they get into, V marketing. People are going to ask questions, and you have to be comfortable with what you are going to tell them. In spite of what's being said, that you can't say anything wrong, okay? Maybe you can't say anything wrong to the right person, but you want to say the right things also. So you want to be really prepared for any question that a person, and when you're doing a BRT, that they have. I think I'm segueing out of the session two, but I mean, the whole thing is together. It's compact, and you really want to be prepared. Proper preparation prevents poor performance. You got to remember that. Yeah, you laugh. I know. I left out one word, right?
But hey, it's all
Okay.
good. It's
We're being recorded.
exactly.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
And also, you have to, know your student. If you've done a really good BRT, you're going to kind of have a feel for where they are financially and mentally. Um, there's nothing wrong with breaking that big session two into two sessions. Some people just don't have the ability to focus that long. That's a lot of material to digest. So for some of my students, I break it up into two sessions.
Hmm. Yeah, sometimes you can do that for session one also. But I tell them after the video, I say, okay, take a 5 minute break and, then let's come back and continue. That's when we get into the nitty gritty. I mean, sitting for, an hour and, 10 minutes to, watch a video, even I was doing that this week and mm, it gets to you after a while.
Yeah.
But yeah. So you can break it up. One of my students broke it up. He's had somebody recently, he broke it up in half. The only thing that I told him and that you have to understand, although Donna, what you're saying is good, whether you are doing a BRT or you're doing session one or you're doing session two, but especially the BRT, first of all, and then session one is really important not to stop the momentum.
Momentum.
You want to always close on a high. So when
Yep.
you're doing a BRT and they say, I can't see the Keystone video now, or can we do it, tomorrow? I have to go pick up my son. I have to make, dinner or whatever. As soon as you stop what you're doing, their
Yeah.
emotions drop immensely, right, Joel?
Yeah, that's right. And unfortunately, I had that issue yesterday. I mean, nothing I can do about it. So she wants to Keystone today, but so I just really gotta push and kind of try to get the momentum back before I have her watch it. But yeah,
Yeah, so always remember, close on the high. You may sympathize with them and these may be long, videos, but just remember before Rory did the videos, we did all the talk and we said what was on that video. And boy, that was exhausting and a lot of talk. You just about talk after it was over, the session was over. But this really helps us out a lot. But, if they are really interested and want to know everything as soon as possible because they want to get going and making money, they will be alert. It doesn't matter how long it is. If it's 3 hours, so be it. It's only the beginning. I tell them this is the foundation, just like you're building your house. You want to build a foundation, make sure it's strong. And like any business, new business, it's a learning curve. So it's not going to be like this all the time, but you want to come to all the trainings anyway. And if you come, more trainings you come to, the faster, you'll be able to move ahead. So although you can separate it like an hour and a half today and an hour and a half tomorrow if you set it up that way. Like Donna said before, you also want to know your students, where they're coming from and where they want to go and how devoted they are. You can hear it in their voices. And if you're on camera, you can see it. That's why it's always good and why Rory wants everybody on camera in most of the meetings. So he can see, body language. You can you you have your pictures, which are great, but we don't know what you're doing behind the pictures. You be saying, going back says whatever. Yeah, okay, yeah, really great, but it's going over your head. I just had a session with somebody, and he was in his undershirt. He was slouched over. He was eating chips constantly, which was driving me nuts. That you can tell. I mean, I don't have to go any further with that. You know, you can all figure out what happened after that.
yeah,
So, get on when you're doing these things. You want to be on the camera with them too, whether you're using Skype or or Zoom or however you do it. But you can always tell. If they're really excited. And then you still do your thing, but, you can judge the timing also. But the whole point is get them excited. And once you've accomplished that to the pinnacle of being excited, then close. Okay, are you ready to start today, or this week, like, the script says when you're doing the BRT? Like everybody says, yes, 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 yes. So then it comes, right? Do they join? Sometimes they say, no, I don't have the money, but that's irrelevant because you still want to close on the high. All right. And the same thing with session one in Velavita. And then session two. You ready to get it going? You got five great things here for you. Let's get it going. But again, if they start talking about the money aspect, tell them to go back and look at the master page, you know. And the videos are all there too, like you just showed, Debbie. So, you know, that's when people forget what they're doing. If they lose the momentum, they lose the enthusiasm, send it back to the videos. So, I'm sorry.
To
Go ahead, Deb.
answer, Robin, to answer you, I did not teach session one, so I have not made an outline for that, so I don't have one I can share with you. But I think going through what's on that page that I listed, session one, it's fairly simple to follow. And like Tom said, there's not as much in session one. It's just the very basics of what the company's all about and stuff. So it's session two that begins to get a lot more complicated and a lot more entailed with it. One thing that I had, Debbie Payne and Debbie's my instructor, so we do a lot of things together, as I've told you in the past. But when we were talking about this yesterday, I told her one thing that I think would be really good is if we had almost like an index of all of Rory's training pages together and what each page entails, what's on that page, because there's so many of them that sometimes they're hard to find as to where they are. So I'm going to try and pull an index together if I can to help. When I do that, I'll share it. But I think it'd be a whole lot easier kind of keep things, where do I go? And I know we've had other where do I go lists before. But especially when you're training, your first or second student, I mean, it's all fresh to you too as to how I go about this. So,
Well, now we're going to have a tremendous break when he gets all those courses completed.
right.
You
Yeah.
know, it's like what we had before on the Google Sheet checked off, that was last year, each session one, then this, then the video, and this, and this, and this, which was great. But then again, that kept changing too. So it was hard to keep up with it. But at least it was a structured sheet that we could follow. And then it had that drop down box. Remember, you could check the box off, yes or no, completed, yes or no.
Yeah, Rebecca's form. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. And that
Yeah, but
was
it's
great.
yeah, like I said, it was great, but it's everything changed so quickly, right?
I know.
Uh,
Yeah, that was the only problem with it. So if he's doing the courses himself, perhaps it's not going to change as fast.
Yeah.
And we all
I
can
would-
follow it. You're right. We all need to do that too. We can, that's the one thing we can't, the more students you have, you can't keep going back to the first one saying, how did you do? Did you finish that? And then you start getting behind. So with this, hopefully it gets done as soon as possible. We'll be able to use that as a great tool.
But that brings up a good point. Don't forget to tell students it's not unusual for things to change every week, so that they're expecting it because that really throws off a lot of these new people,
Hmm.
um,
Hmm.
especially ones that were looking at the master page one day and went back the next day and it was totally different. So
Yeah, really. I don't know, we're
it's
used
not,
to it, but the new people, they say, "Oh, there's so much here," and then they struggle to get one thing done, and then all of a sudden that one thing is
and it's
changed.
gone.
Yeah,
And that's the part that can get so overwhelming. It's the whole thing at the beginning is overwhelming anyway, but
yeah.
then to have new information suddenly change is another kind of overwhelming.
And this
That's for
past
sure.
year, it's been that way almost
Right.
constantly, right?
Yep. And I don't see it changing for a while either.
That's why we said at the beginning, let's wait before we started recording. Let's make sure it gels first before we go ahead with it. I mean, you never know.
That was a
But it's
good
an
job, Debbie.
experience.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
it is. And you brought up the was it DMCA or D
Yeah.
Yeah.
that I guess you can if you want to go ahead and talk about it because that is a good thing even though pictures are free. Like he said, some people have gotten caught.
Yeah.
So
Especially
we
the new people. That's why,
yeah.
that would be something that everybody should want to put in. But, it wasn't, it didn't seem to want everybody to know about it at this point.
Well, I don't think he wanted to scare people off. He's got it as a subcategory still for the affiliate disclosures. So if you go to 1f16.com and look
Well, I can
under
share my
affiliate,
screen too if you wanted
yeah,
to actually see what that is.
go ahead. You can just copy it because again, it's more like a legal statement, so there's not much you have to change on it.
Yeah,
Yeah, there's
but
one. Go ahead,
he would
Joe.
actually rather you copy it from the ads and headlines as opposed to off of his website, or sorry, the
Oh, that's
yeah, ads
right.
and headlines,
That's right.
because that way you don't get the Google ads, right?
It's coded. Yeah.
But there's one piece in there that has his brunette name in there.
Yeah.
And I was just wondering if we were keeping that there, which would be good because then it could go to him,
That's right.
you know, instead of changing it to our name, which then we'd have total
Well,
control.
yeah. That's the same with the affiliate disclosures. Is the same thing. There's one link in there where we need to change it to our PBS page, right? That's the same thing.
Well, that's what I'm saying. The one basic link is his link that I just left it. But I think because he
Yeah.
said don't change anything on it.
Right.
And we're just doing what he said. Don't
That's
change
right.
it.
And
Well, it comes down to Jim anyway. I mean, it'll go to
Yeah.
Jim.
Yeah.
like we're not really we're not advertising that page at all, right?
Right.
So
No, no.
there's really not a big issue to change it, right?
Right.
Yeah.
Rebecca had a
Well,
question.
if you want, I can just, if you want, I can jump over there and show how it, what it
Yeah,
is,
go
where
ahead.
it is.
Go
And
ahead. While
okay.
he's doing that, Rebecca, go ahead and ask your
Okay,
question.
I was thinking that since I explained the affiliate disclosure at the very first, and I always tell them do not change anything, do not modify. So in one spill, I can do the same thing with the next one. So
Yeah,
when it's in the same category, they're not gonna touch it. So
yeah.
instead of two separate explanation, then at least for me, it's better to just put it all in one
Get it over with.
explain. Yep,
Yep,
that's right.
yep. I think that's a good idea.
Well, this is especially for the new people too, because then they just don't, they have questions about um, where do I find pictures and like Hortense was talking about music. You want to be, extra, careful that you don't get copyrighted pictures, especially off of the internet. Because we have our media library. There's all the pictures in there. You got to look in there first. It goes down so far, and then underneath that, it says more pictures. You may or may not see it. Just click on it, and you'll get more pictures. So don't think that what you see right there up front is all the pictures. But as you get going, and number one, we market by content, and that's what Google wants. So you don't want to go crazy with the pictures. Pictures are secondary, more for decoration. Remember, there's a picture for about every 300 words. You can figure it that way. But not, and this hasn't happened to anybody, or maybe just a couple of people over the past few years. So it's not common as long as you take your time. And if you have any questions, ask your instructors about it. Now, last night we were given this policy that you see in front of you, and it was given to us just as a precaution to help us. This is you put this in your affiliate link. Here's your affiliate link over here, and you just add it to the sub folder, which then comes up. It's called DMCA. And this is, again, as a basic protection. It's the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of 1998. And when you do put it into your Um, let me see, when you put it into your edit page, let me move this out of the way. Hold on. DMCA, DMCA. And I noticed that we won't get 80 on this. It's the highest is 59. I don't know if that matters any. I figured since it's only something that we need on there, that amount doesn't matter. Right?
Rory had his at 60.
What's that?
Rory had his at 60.
He had his
But I mean,
60?
yeah, but
Yeah.
there's really nothing we need to change, so it's not a big deal, I think.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I'm sure. I mean, this isn't something, and I changed it slightly just to make it. Somehow there are two different ones: what he had and what I copied over in the meta tag. So I just changed it. Well, I put what he had. There were two of these anyway. This ends with a period, so
Mhm.
and that's sufficient. But this is what I was talking about over here, owned by Burnett Marketing. And then somewhere down the page there, it had his link. So, or it was right there that I was looking at. I don't know, but I'm leaving everything the way it is. So what I'm saying is over on the right side under the focus keyword, he has, and I put in DMCA as the keyword, and underneath the keyword is that Digital Millennium Copyright Act 1998. That's another keyword. So I got two keywords. So when you do it, you'd have your two keywords also. Okay. And that's basically, all you need to do as far as the back room goes. I did back all this up on I actually did a new page, a new folder with DMCA and put it up in my drive. You want to do that also. Of course, you want to back up everything, keep everything in order. For this is notice is for informational purposes only. Okay. So right up in front, that's what it is, informational purposes. This is designed because people, just like hackers, that try to get into us, into our program, and to try to steal money from us, try to divert our business and product and affiliate commissions for themselves. This is similar when it comes to copywriting and to when it comes to posting pictures, because actually, Rory had somebody come after him for infringement on something that he created himself.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's stupid, but people will do anything just to make money. So, after you read this, you realize that if they're coming after you for something that is okay and making an issue of it, if they can't back it up, basically means that they better have their own legal affairs set up too, because, it can come back on them. So for us, we just want to make sure that, especially for pictures, we want to make sure they are not copyrighted. Okay. Most of us and the instructors, they have whole, free pitches that you can use. And again, that's where Chat GPT come in. That's where Google search comes in. Free, non-copyrighted pictures for health products or for something in particular, whatever you're working on. And that's how you can get your pictures. Then you download it to your computer, and then you can upload it to your page that you're working on here in the edit mode. So basically, you have the code that you just put in before you don't write anything. Just take the code, put it in, and it pops right up. So instead of doing it this way first, you do it the code. Who was saying it last night? Oh, Niall said it copied
Yeah.
his ads also, but I didn't have that
No,
problem.
what now was actually saying is that he actually copied his code, pasted it, but then the ads came back. But they didn't actually come back. Google had their own ads on his site because he already has Google AdSense. So you just got to make a joke saying that the ads were there, but it's because he has Google AdSense. It
Yeah.
kind of popped up
So it's
right away.
probably his own
That's all I was saying.
ads.
Exactly. That's exactly what it was. Yeah. Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Exactly.
Okay.
The one. Sorry. Go ahead, Tom. Continue.
So that's what I know. We're probably confusing you as to what we're talking about with DMCA. This is the first time this happened. So, um, you, I don't remember what I did with I put it in my drive somewhere, so I'd have to find it. But we have the code for this. I don't know how you want to handle that, if you want to handle it at this time, Donna, or what. But
It's
it
in
goes,
headlines and ads,
Yeah. As in headlines,
ads and headlines.
the code is and
oh,
I think the other thing to remember as well, um, it's really a matter of um knowing that we as a Triple R have this DMCA protection is important to know that. So it's not necessary for those who are not adding their, or at least I don't think for those that are not that are adding their own photos to add this to the website yet. But knowing that we have this protection, so if anybody ever comes after you for money, then go to Rory and post this on your site. The reason why is because once a person hears that you have DMCA, they'll leave you alone. They'll be like, oh, this guy, I don't want, I don't do this guy,
don't want to
because
open a
having
can of worms.
honestly,
Yeah.
and that's exactly what it does. Like once they hear DMCA, they like completely back off, because that's actually what happened to Stacy. The same thing.
Yeah.
And as soon as the person heard DMCA protection, they backed off completely and left her alone. The most important thing to remember is that if anybody does come, and so this DMC policy is great, and the one caveat that we need to remember is that if somebody comes to you about a copyrighted picture, we have to remove it off of our site, having this DMCA policy. Because if we don't, then they can then say, "Oh, we told you, and you didn't remove it, and now we're coming after you." So we need to
Yep.
make sure that we remove it if they come after us.
Yeah, don't keep it to yourself if something were like that to happen. Because well, there's help for you. Rory will back you up, but you
Yeah.
you have to you have to be proactive and let people know. Let your instructor know.
Don't battle on your own. We
Yeah,
are,
exactly.
Well, yeah, you have
even
to be
Because
though,
proactive on everything too,
yeah,
right from, day one. I mean, you have your instructors, but, you want to use common sense too for the things that you do and things that you say, like you never say, something is going to stop, when it comes to our health products, something's going to stop, the pain or, definitely this, that, and the other thing. Say it'll help you, it'll assist you, but they don't say anything. And then this is basically again to, have an added shield for you to protect you. And you just
right.
want to make sure that the pictures and music that you download are okay, is, can be used for commercial purposes also.
E- Even
So
though
if you,
we are, sorry, I just want to say one thing here. Even though we are all running our own business, we are a community of entrepreneurs. We're a community of business owners. So we're all in it together, doing the same thing. We just each have our own businesses.
Mhm. All for one, one for all.
That's right.
anybody have any questions on that or on the
Did you,
DMCA policy page?
yeah. Did you want to see where it is again? Because I went by fast. But
Yeah,
remember,
go ahead.
all our this and most of the calls are recorded. And again, I if you go to my site, which I put in the WhatsApp, and when you do look at any of the recordings, you can subscribe to it, and you can see anything that we've had and what will come if you want to see a particular call again. So what you do is you go to my drive, and up in the search bar, you can, well, actually, you know, you can type in HAD headlines, and what'll come up is you can see underneath it says Rory Triple R 247. So when you start this search, if you look down, it has not only the dates, but the people that are making that content with whatever it is. Rory, Tom. So you can tell which one's yours and which one's Rory's or somebody else's. So all you have to do is start typing in headlines, and it's the beginning of headlines and ads training Triple R 247 PBS, right? So then you just click on that, and you see everything that he teaches us, he puts in this place. And you can obviously tell for the most part what the subjects are: Brain Food Academy, Biosense, Chat. So if you ever wanted to see what did he actually do on a previous call on a Tuesday night or whenever, Saturday morning, you can check out here. I am a marketer. So you look for this, which is a DMCA policy page, double click on it, and it'll bring it up. And then double click on that, and it'll open it up. And you see the keywords here. He's got 3 there. He's got the brunette marketing. I didn't put that in my. I just used the DMCA and the Digital Millennium Copyright Act of 1998. Here's the slug DMCA. However, when I looked it up also, the slug was DMCA-policy. So that's what I have, DMCA. And then here's the meta. And this is where actually I copied it from here and put it in, because what was there was not this. And it went beyond the period, so it went off the green. So I just copied it I did it in reverse. Instead of copying it from my edit page to put it in here, I copied it from here and put it in my edit page. And then you just paste the rest in. So you copy all of this, then you go to your edit page, go to the top right where there's the 3 dots options, click on it, go down to code editor, then just click inside the big box, anywhere, it doesn't matter, and Control V as in Victor, and it'll paste everything that you copied from the web page, from the site in my drive, right? Makes sense? And you can put that in there, and always remember to click save. And you can always know if it's saving by looking at the bottom. It'll say view page updated. If you don't see that, then it's not being updated for whatever reason. But then you can just always click on view page if you want, and you can see what it looks like. But if you do it that way, just make sure you go back to edit page. You always want to leave the page in its edit form. Sound good, folks? Donna?
Excellent. Anybody else have any questions?
Tom, could you share the code editor copy of it on a document? So all we do is copy and paste.
It is it's in
Yeah.
headlines and ads in
Oh,
code
okay.
editor
Headlines
format.
and ads.
Yeah.
Okay, thank
Yeah.
you.
Yeah.
Headlines and ads.
Yep.
Yeah, that way all you have to do is hit Control A, Control C,
Right.
and just
Thank
pop it in.
you.
But make sure you pop it into the editor part of the edit part of
Right.
it.
Right. And make sure you change to code editor
Code
and not
editor.
page editor. Yeah.
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 Hey, Tom, I have a quick question.
Yes, Len.
And we
Royce
put
Hall.
that under the affiliate disclosures, correct?
Okay, I talked
Yes.
over you. Did you hear what he said?
Yeah, it's a subcategory of affiliate disclosures.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Donna.
You're welcome.
So do you folks know how, does anyone here do not know how to put it in their affiliate link
in,
in the menu?
in the menu.
Yeah. Let me just quickly show you that again, you know,
Good.
oh, hold on a second. Share, 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 share,
Just one
share.
sec.
Okay, so here we are here. You've done all of that. Now you want to put it underneath the affiliate disclosure like this, right? So from your edit menu, you go over here to the WordPress icon, go down to appearance. And again, if this is a little fast, you can always replay this part of it. Mine has been automatically updated. And so you go down to menus. Okay, so here it is. You just got through doing it, so it's always in the number one place. So to put it in your main menu, you click on the DMCA policy. And over here, you said add to menu. Okay, just click on that. And you go down all the way to the bottom. And here it is on the bottom, right? It's good so far, folks? Yeah. Now, you see how many pages there are here? And I know it was shown to other people like last Thursday night from Stacy how to move it from here and go up and everything. Well, here's a shortcut. If it's something that needs to be put in the beginning, just click on the down arrow, bring it up a little bit so you can see it. So you click on the down arrow, and if you go down to the bottom and you look right here, it says to the top. You know, if you click on that to the top, you'll
Nice.
notice it's popped all the way to the top. Well, now we don't have to keep going up and up and up. You
Yeah.
just take this when you see those arrows change up and down, back, right, left, take it. Now just go down here, and there you are already. Right? And that's how you put it in there, and that's how you also save time. So now if you save it down at the bottom, click save, right? And it's still going around, so you know it's still working. So it stopped. You go back to your main page. I hope this is all making sense to you. Right click on your tab, the site tab, and click reload or refresh, whatever your computer has. And now go down to where you put it in, and you'll notice it pops up there. And this is the one I just put in. All right? So that's how you can tell. Make sure you check right after you do it.
Do you know, after all these years, that's the first time I'd ever noticed that.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Okay.
That's huge.
Yeah. It's huge.
That saves a lot of time when you have something on the bottom you want to move up to the top. So
It
now I
sure does.
deleted it, and it's only those two. So you click on that, and you got the affiliate link, and here's your DMCA. And that's where it goes. No place else. And once you put it there, just forget about it.
Forget about it.
Forget
Forget
about
about it.
it. All right. Now that should be nice and easy, A, B, and C for you. And then this subject can be dismissed.
Anybody have any other questions? If not, there's just one other thing that I wanted to point out that I thought was really important that Rory said last night. Don't forget to keep up with the status block or the groups rather of your students. And I'm guilty of this. As they move forward and they go from PBS student to instructor and on up, don't forget to change those titles and add to it because it does make a difference in different things.
And I think as well, the other big thing that's making a difference is that not so much yet, but as we kind of get more into the CRM, kind of Rory is doing new stuff in there. When we're in the habit of changing the statuses, um, we may get what we had in the old um, wine system where it would there would be it'd be sending emails or dripping on them depending on their
Yes,
status, right? So
that's right.
we should nobody should have any customers in there. The only time when you change the customer is when you use the button up top that says assign to customer. After that, you should then go in and change your status to whether it be waiting BRT, waiting PBS, whichever one it is. I mean, I as well am guilty of that, and I have a lot of customers that I need to go through and change their status.
Right.
Yep.
I
And you
looked
can
at
add
mine
more
as
than,
like, well, we did that because that's what Rory told us to do at the
Yeah,
beginning.
exactly.
yeah,
Okay.
Yeah, that's right, Don. You can add more, right?
but you can add more than one. Just know that.
Right. Yeah.
Well, okay. I'm going to stop the recording now, okay? And we can talk about this. We're going into our study hall, and we can talk about this a few more minutes if you want for the people who aren't really understand what we're talking about. So I'm going to say thank you, everybody, and thank you, Debbie Seese, for your presentation today. We appreciate it, and everybody's welcome to do this also, present whatever they feel that would benefit everybody. So see you all next week and have a great day.